Okay. I'm shooting. My mouth's dry. Hello. Welcome. Today, we're going to talk about the Chekhov acting technique. Super exciting, right? Let's get to it. What is the Chekhov acting technique? The Chekhov technique uses heavy emphasis on imagination and movement and uses what's known as psychological gesture. I'm going to read the definition of this next one. A psychological gesture is a physical movement or gesture which captures the total essence of a character and is executed inwardly while an actor portrays a character. Yeah. So, who created the Chekhov technique? Well, it was Michael Chekhov, of course. Michael Chekhov was born in 1891 in St. Petersburg, Russia. He's also the nephew of playwright Anton Chekhov. I'm going to have to read off this paper quite a few times because there's some complicated names in here. Chekhov first studied stagecraft at the Moscow Art Theater under the legendary director Konstantin Stanislavski, who is the mastermind behind the Stanislavski system. Chekhov's innovations began in the 1920s when he became the director at the Moscow Art Theater too. He worked alongside theater legends like Yevgeny Vakhtangov and Vsevolod Meyerhold. I'm going to put those names on screen because I totally butchered the pronunciation of those. Chekhov's unorthodox approach to stage technique caused a rift with his mentor, Stanislavski, whose own formulas focused on naturalism. Chekhov eventually developed a system that many Hollywood stars of the 1930s and 40s adopted. Eventually, the world called it what we know as the Chekhov method, the Chekhov technique. That's why we're here, learning about it. The Chekhov technique had a variety of influences from Chekhov's acting partners. This included Meyerhold, who had his own technique. Meyerhold's technique connected psychological and physiological processes. He had actors focus on learning gestures and movements as a way of expressing emotion physically. There was also Vakhtangov, who created his own technique where the actor does not hide the fact that he's performing for the audience. Anyway, let's hear from Avalon.
Let's get into it. I know everyone is dying to know which famous actors studied the Chekhov technique. I'll tell you since you're asking so nicely. A lot of actors use the Chekhov method, and some of them were actually taught directly by him, like Ingrid Bergman, Marilyn Monroe, Clint Eastwood were all taught directly under him, as well as Anthony Hopkins, Johnny Depp, James Spader, and Gregory Peck were all just kind of like the more widely known people who used the method. Some actors also combined methods. Marilyn Monroe, actually, she combined the Chekhov technique with Lee Strasberg's method. Really hope I'm saying that right, hopefully. So a lot of actors kind of like combined them. I think the other ones on the list though, like did just the pure Chekhov method. Places to study the technique. Really glad you asked. A lot of places specialize, which I actually didn't know they did until I researched for this project, but a lot of places specialize in just the Michael Chekhov technique. And one of those, New York City, there's the Michael Chekhov Acting Studio, which they offer performance labs, workshops, and also private instruction. A lot of these places offer like the private instruction as well as the group sessions. In Germany, there's the Michael Chekhov International Academy. It's like a full-time 9-month course just on Chekhov, kind of like a concentrated approach to that. MICHA in Connecticut that offers both in-person and online training as of last year. They also do private mentoring sessions. It's kind of like throughout the course to like check in on your progress and also do a bit of one-on-one training, which is kind of cool. And Michael Chekhov UK, where you can do workshops in creating character with the technique and composition in reference to an actor. And all these workshops are taught by director and author Sinead Rush, really hope I'm saying that right, who specializes in the Chekhov technique.
Wow, that was good, huh? Let's hear what Ashley has to say.
Now I'm going to talk about 3 examples of how to use the Chekhov method. The first one is the psychological gesture. This means to physicalize a character's want, need, or impulse as an external gesture. What happens is the actor practices a physical movement until it's incorporated internally and emotionally. Gradually, the actor can minimize the exaggerated gesture and instead draw upon the feelings and emotions that emerged by physicalizing it. Next one is movement. So what Chekhov means by movement is that It extends beyond the actor's study and into their daily lives. It's recommended for the actor to regularly express themselves physically, and that could be through like dance or yoga or martial arts or any other aerobic warm-up exercises. Anything that can help the performer feel in touch with their body. Chekhov really emphasizes that the actor's body is their instrument. And finally, we have improvisation. So this is a very important part of the Chekhov technique. This technique relies heavily on group improvisation, in particular, either verbal or nonverbal. This typically involves something called radiating, which is described as sharing your internal essence, your intentions, your choices, and your performance with your scene partners. Now, in saying that, improvisation is equally as effective when completed individually. For example, an exercise that you can do alone is to invent 2 different moods, one to start a scene and one to end it, and act out a story that takes the character from one to the other logically. So yeah, that's the 3 examples are the psychological gesture, movement, and improvisation. Those are 3 really important parts of the Chekhov method and how you can use them.
That was great, Ashley. Let's hear from Bart now.
Oh, hi there. I didn't see you come in. What can I do for you? Would you like some coffee or tea or ginger ale, a beer? No? Oh, I see. You came here because you wanted to learn about the key elements in the Chekhov acting technique, didn't you? Well, you came to the right place. Now, there's 3 key elements to the acting technique. First, we have imagination, which is very self-explanatory, Use your imagination. Very straightforward. Then we have transformation, which refers to, being able to physically transform yourself into different characters. Not so much about the character's past or what their interests are, who their family is, more so physically, like, how does this character move? Once you've reached that point, the third key element is working with impulse. So how would this character react to certain situations? Allow me to demonstrate. Here I am using my imagination to come up with a good character to perform as for this demonstration. I know. How about I pretend to be an angry Scotsman? Oh, the English. They're bastards. Now, how would your average Scotsman react to a compliment, say? Oi, thanks, mate. Now, how would your average Scotsman react to, like, an insult? Let's see. Huh? Oh, you cunt.
I am blown away, Bart. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Smell you later. I swear to fuck, if I was not recording audio, I'm gonna shoot myself in the fucking foot. I was!